Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's follow along workout for April 2019. So we are going to do a big total body monster circuit tonight, which means we are going to warm up and then we'll do 5 exercises. We'll do those 5 exercises for 4 rounds, have a little cool down stretch at the end, and then we'll be all finished. So if this is your first follow along workout, welcome. How it works is I basically work out with you. You follow along with me. It's like we're doing a class and I'm coaching you through the class. The only difference is I can't see you, but you can see and hear me. So things you need to know. For tonight's workout, our total body monster circuit, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need a bench. If you don't have a bench, you could use like a step or a stair or a very sturdy chair. We're going to use the bench or whatever ledge you have. You could use a coffee table or even the edge of a couch, because what we're doing is a bench hip thrust. So your mid back is going to rest on the edge of the bench. You will need also a few sets of dumbbells, because we're going to do a squat and press, a side lunge and bicep curl, and a side plank with reverse fly. So even though we're only doing 5 exercises, there's a lot of combo exercises in there. This is not going to be easy. I think we're going to be needing some rest at the end of each of the 4 rounds of our monster circuit. So gather up as many of the dumbbells as you've got access to, because you're probably going to need to drop down, add more, switch them up as you go, especially through the varying exercises that you need your dumbbells for. So I wrote anywhere from 5 to 20 pounds you'll need, because we're not going to be lifting super heavy, just because of the exercises that we're doing. We're using kind of smaller muscle groups for the dumbbells. You'll also need a mini band, so your small little mini band looks like this, whatever color you've got, and then your super band or a piece of exercise tubing, which is like this guy. It can be in a circle if that's what you got, or it can just be like the long one with the handles on the end. That's going to work absolutely fine as well. And yeah, that's all you need to know to get set up. If you are just, oh, my cat is knocking over my water bottle. Just wait for the big bang. Oh, maybe not. If you are just joining us, get yourself all set up, join in when you want. I'm going to give you lots of breaks as we go through, lots of coaching through the exercises where you should feel it, all those sorts of things. And because I don't know how fast or how slow you're going, I'm going to go a little slower than I think that you should go, because then hopefully we'll be able to kind of keep our pace really similar as we go through. Okay, I see that Nicole is on, which is awesome. So let's get started. What we are going to do is start in our warm-up. It's really cold in my gym right now, so I've got my sweater on, although I'm sure it's going to be coming off very quickly. So we're going to start by cycling through a few warm-up exercises, starting with our cat-cow. So come down onto your mat, onto your hands and knees, and right. So you're going to inhale to drop your belly down, open up through your sit bones and your chest, then exhale to arch one vertebrae at a time up to the ceiling. Inhale to drop down, spread your sit bones, spread your chest. Exhale to curl one vertebrae up at a time. And just keep cycling through these 2 moves, your cow and your cat. Getting a little bit of range of motion up and into that spine, wakes up your hips and your shoulders. Oh, it feels good. Let's take 3 more. Inhale as you drop down, exhale as you arch up. Opening through the shoulders, imagining spreading your sit bones at the bottom of that cow movement. And one more time. Okay, we are going to stay on our hands and knees. You're going to take one leg out to the side. So it's like you're on your hands and knees, but one leg is extended out to the side. You're going to rock yourself forward and back. So you should be feeling a really nice pull on your inner thigh as you do this. This is called your adductor rock back. And you can play around with the foot of your extended leg. Maybe it'll point to the ceiling or stay touching the ground. You'll feel the stretch on your inner thigh kind of move around wherever that foot goes, pointing up or pointing down. Let's take a couple more rock backs on this side, and then we'll switch to our other side. So extend your foot out on the other side, keeping that neutral spine alignment. So you're not like keeping your back pretty neutral as you rock backward and forward. Play around with that foot, maybe point your toe up to the ceiling, maybe keep it touching down on the ground. Go with whatever feels like the best stretch right down this inner thigh. Couple more, back and forth. This is such a great exercise to warm up your hips and all the muscles of your lower body. Okay, let's stay on your hands and knees. This is the theme right now. You're gonna reach one arm up towards the ceiling and then place it back down and do the same thing on the other side. So getting a little bit of rotation through the upper body, maybe feeling a stretch on your chest or your shoulders, allowing your whole torso to rotate with you as you go. Breathing as well. Take one more on either side. Okie dokie, awesome. So let's make our way up to standing. We're gonna put one foot in front of us, so you can see me. So, foot that goes in front is pretty light. Most of your weight's on your back foot. This is your hamstring scoop. So you're gonna scoop your hands down, feel a really nice pull down the back of your hamstring. Then take a big arm circle. Scoop down, feel that hamstring, maybe even a calf stretch. Remember, most of the weight is staying on the foot that's behind you, okay? Let's take 3 more on this leg. Oh, this is one of my favorite stretches. So good for the hamstring. Last one, scoop down, big arm circle. Okay, other side. So most of the weight goes on the back leg, front toe lifts up. You're gonna hinge at your hip. Oh, that feels good. Big arm circle, scooping down. Take a big arm circle all the way around. Wee-hoo-hoo. So getting a little bit of waking up down through the hamstring, through the calf, and through the shoulders, through the chest, through the core. 3 more on this side. Maybe you notice this side is a little tighter or less tight than the other side. Last one. Okay, should be starting to feel a bit warmer. Let's take our elbows up, kind of like reverse cactus position. Then you're gonna open up to the top and come back down. So we're just doing a little bit of internal and external rotation of the shoulder. Really great to warm up the shoulders. We're gonna use them in our squat and press and in our side plank reverse fly, as well as the half kneeling pull aparts. And I'll obviously coach you through all of those as we go. Couple more, opening and closing. Feeling good. Okay guys, let's get started. So 5 exercises. I'm going to coach you through them as we go. First one is going to be a squat and press for 15 repetitions, okay? So you are going to count your own reps. You might be going faster than me or slower than me. If you're done a couple seconds before I am, feel free to grab water anytime that you want. We're going to go through these 5 exercises for 4 rounds. So I'll give you a little bit more of a water break at the end of each round. Because this is a monster circuit, you're going to feel like your heart rate's up pretty high because we're going to be getting up, we're going to be getting down, and most of the exercises are working more than one body part. So lots of things going on here. So grab yourself your dumbbells, set yourself up for a squat. So feet just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Dumbbells are coming up to your shoulders. This is where they're going to stay. They're not necessarily resting on your shoulders, but up in this racked position. So we're going to inhale on the way down and then exhale to press. That's 1. And we've got 14 more. So you are counting your own reps, really making sure you're pushing your heels into the floor, your big toe into the floor as well. Oh yeah. Okay, we already got 9 left. I'm not very good at counting to 10 on a good day, so counting to 15. 7 more is extra challenging. 6 more, load down into that squat, pressing straight up. 4 more. Last 3. Last 2. Push, push, push the heels into the floor. That is 15. Okay, so that's our first exercise, squat to press. We're gonna go straight into our second exercise, which is a side lunge with a bicep curl. We'll do 8 reps on either side, okay? So stick with the same leg for 8 reps and then we'll go to the other side. Take a big wide step over to the side. Send your hips out to the back, that's your side lunge. Stand all the way together and do a hammer curl. That's 1. Same leg, hips go out to the back, stand together, hammer curl, that's 2. I'll show you from the side. So I'm hinging back, really pushing off my foot as I stand up, that's 3. This one is gonna get your heart rate up. There's 4. Making sure you're feeling a really nice pull on your inner thigh as you load that outside leg. Nice work. 2 more. So that outside leg that's bending, it's doing most of the work here. Last one on this side. Ta-da! Okay. Switch over to your other side. So toes are pointing forward. We're not turning our toe out when we do this. I want your toes to be pointing straight towards the camera. Okay, here we go. Side lunge, bicep curl, hammer curl. 8 reps on this side. 6 left. Good. So this inside leg should be pretty straight. 5 more. 4 to go. Outside leg is bending and loading. All right. 3 more. Lots of muscles working here. Quads, glutes, hamstrings, inner thighs, and biceps, of course. 1 more rep. Side lunge and curl. Okay, drop your dumbbells down. So you're gonna start to figure out, my second, third, and fourth rounds, do I wanna lift a little heavier on the squat and press, or the side lunge and curl, or do you wanna stick with the same weight? Have a seat onto your bench, chair, couch, coffee table, whatever you're using, and start to get your mini band on. Remember, it's like wearing a very small pair of underwear. So it's gonna go just above your knees. You don't have to use your back on a bench. You can just do a hip lift on the floor. But if you're gonna use the bench, it's gonna be even tougher, which is what we're looking for. So mid-back goes onto the bench. I'm resting my elbows out to the sides like this, so there's not very much tension in my upper body. My feet are a little bit wider than hip width distance apart, and I'm trying to keep from my hips to my rib cage in a straight line. So I'm not dropping my bum down, I'm dropping my whole body down. The pivot point is my bra strap, okay? Then I'm gonna squeeze my butt and my hips and my hamstrings up to the top. 15 reps here, 15, 1-5. Here we go, drop your hips down, squeeze the glutes up and pull the knees apart at the top. So really almost hold at the top for 1 Mississippi, and you're gonna feel way more work through your glutes and your hamstrings. If this is hurting your low back, really make sure that you stay straight through your torso. So keep your eyes looking down to your legs as you pivot down and up. Give me 7 more. Drop and lift and squeeze at the top. 6. Should be feeling your butt and your hamstrings. 5. 4 more. 3. Let your bum drop. 2. Pivot around that bra strap area. Last one. Okay, have a seat. Take your torture band off. And you're going to need to find one of your lighter dumbbells for this next exercise. We're going to do a side plank with reverse fly. So I'll show you from the knees. You can also do this from the toes as well. It's hard no matter if you do knees or toes. So if you're going from your knees, you're going to bend that bottom leg. Make sure your elbow's under your shoulder. Top leg is going to extend. And this is the movement you'll do with your arm. It's a reverse fly. So elbow stays slightly bent. Lots of work on this underside part of your side plank, okay? Of course, you can lift up and do it from your toes as well. I'm really trying to work on my left shoulder. So I'm gonna go from my knees, and hopefully that will not give me a sore back tomorrow. Okay, here we go. 8 reps on either side. Push those hips forward, pull your hips away from the ground, press your forearm into the floor. Here we go. 8, and control on the way down. 7, so this is a lot of work for your upper body, for your core. There's 6, really pull those hips up and away from the floor. 3 more, 2, and here's your last one. So lots going on in this exercise. Switch to the other side. Decide if you're going to go from your knees or from your toes. Really staying strong through the underside of that side plank, okay? Elbows right underneath your shoulders. Other elbow is bent. Here we go. 8 reps. Open and close. 2, 3. Keep pulling the hips away from the floor and pushing them forward. Keep breathing. Only 3 left on this side. Last 2. And here's your last one. Okay, drop your dumbbell down and find your super band or your long exercise tubing, whatever you've got. We're gonna go into a half kneeling position. So you can put whatever leg you want forward, because we're gonna switch halfway through. We're gonna do 8 reps with our hands facing down, and then 8 reps with our hands facing up. So I'm gonna squeeze my glute of the leg that's behind me. My palms are gonna face down to start. What I'm doing is I'm pulling the tubing apart, hence why this is called a pull apart, okay? Shoulders drop down into my back pocket so I'm not hunching, and here we go. 8 reps. So we're working back of the shoulder. This muscle already worked in that reverse fly, okay? We're just getting at it from a different angle here. Let's go 3 more. So my elbows are just slightly bent. Here's the last one. Now switch legs. So other leg goes in front and hold your tubing underhand. If you want to make it harder, hold your hands closer. If you need to make it easier, hold your hands further apart. So underhand grip now, opening and closing. So still once again working the back of the shoulder, just from a slightly different grip. Helps to get all aspects of the muscle fibers. Let's take 3 more. Squeeze the glute of the leg that's behind you. Last one. Okay, you can definitely feel the backs of the shoulders by the end of that one. So the good news is that's round 1. Grab yourself a quick drink of water. We're going to do that 3 more times. So that means you're going to find yourself a set of dumbbells for your 15 squat and press. Pick a weight that's going to be challenging but doable for you for your 15 reps. And let's get started. All right, feet are just a little bit wider than hip width distance apart. Inhale down, then exhale on the way up. Let's go. 15 reps. Make sure you count those reps. You might be going a little slower or a little faster than me. You got 10 more if you're going with my pace. 9. Really dig those heels and your big toe into the ground. Over halfway. I've got 6 left. Stand really tall. Press those dumbbells up. Finish strong. Okay. Side lunge and bicep curl. Maybe you're going to stick with the same weights that you did your squat and press. Maybe you'll lift heavier or lighter. It depends on what your biceps can handle. So, feet both pointing front. Let's take our nice big side lunge. Loading this outside leg, inside leg stays straight. Stand all the way up and a hammer curl. That's 1. We'll do 8 on each side. There's 2. So lots of work for the lateral hips on this one, the inner thighs. 4 more on this side. Side lunge, really let those hips come to the back. Bend, bend, bend that outside knee and keep that inside leg quite straight. So you transfer the weight to the outside leg, to the outside hip. Last one. Oh yeah. Okay, go to the other side. side lunge, and hammer curl. Here we go. Send the hips out to the back. Standing nice and tall. Inside leg stays straight. Outside leg transfers and accepts all the weight. Nice work. So make sure to bend that outside leg. Make sure your heel connects with the ground. Good job. 2 more on this side. You count those reps. 8 reps on each side. Last one. Ta-da. Okay, drop your dumbbells down. Grab yourself your mini band or your ring tubing. Put it on your legs just above your knees. And get your mid back pushing against the edge of your bench, your couch, your coffee table, your step, whatever you're going to use. So remember, this is our pivot point, right? So we need to be dropping down and then lifting up, all right? Feet a little bit wider, hip width, then hip width. Little pause at the top, maybe for almost 1 second. Here we go. Drop down, pull the knees apart as you drive the hips up to the ceiling. Remember, we're doing 15 reps of this exercise. Feeling glutes and hamstrings quite a bit here. Check out your knees. Notice if one is pulling out a little bit more than the other. Try to evenly pull out with both knees, evenly press up with both hips. I got 5 more reps here. Little squeeze at the top. Use your breathing. Holy moly. Okay, feeling the glutes and the hamstrings on that one. You're halfway through round 2 here, guys. So let's take off that mini band. Grab your dumbbell, maybe 5 or 8 pounds. If you're really strong through your shoulders and really good core stability, maybe you could do 10 pounds on this side plank with reverse fly, but everyone's gonna be really different. See if you can start last round, okay? So try starting with your other side. You're either going from your toes or from your knees. Both are great options. Let's lift the hips up and reverse fly with the top arm. 8 on each side. So I find it so much easier when my right arm is down because I'm a lot more stable on that side. My left side is the more unstable side. So I try to start with opposing sides as I go through, so I'm not always getting my right side the first kick at the can. Almost there, 8 reps on each side. Keep that bent elbow in your reverse fly. Whew. Okay, switch to the other side. So the underside line of your body, the underside line of your side plank, shouldn't be moving very much. We're holding that side plank as the reverse fly is happening with the top arm. Let's go. Squeeze your glutes. Pull your hips away from the ground. 8, 7. I like to imagine squeezing a water balloon in my armpit with my bottom arm. Really helps me to feel a bit more stable through that underside stabilizing shoulder. Finish off your 8 reps on this side. Oh yeah, okay. Drop your dumbbell down, find your super band or your big long piece of exercise tubing. One leg is going to go in front. Remember, we're going to start with that palms facing down grip. So to make this harder, you just start with your hands closer on the tubing. To make it a bit easier, you start wider because then you don't have to pull as much resistance. I want you to try to find a resistance that by the time we get to our 16th rep, it feels pretty tough, okay? Squeeze your glute of the leg that's behind you. Lots of core stability in this half kneeling position. Here we go. 8 with palms down. I can choke up a little bit more. 5, 4, tuck your chin a little bit. Try not to hunch with your upper body. Okay, switch legs, so other leg goes in front. Underhand grip on the tubing. We're going to open and close. Oh, this is the one where I always feel the burn, right on the backs of the shoulders. They've worked hard in the last 2 exercises. Try not to hunch with the shoulder blades. All the way to your 8th rep. Woo. Okay, drop that tubing down, grab yourself some water before we get into our 3rd round of 4. So you're starting to be a bit more familiar with these 5 exercises: squat and press, side lunge and curl, bench hip thrust with a mini band, side plank with reverse fly, and the half kneeling tubing pull aparts. You've only got 2 rounds left to go, so now is when you ask yourself, do I want to add a little bit more weight in any of the exercises, or do I want to decrease if I feel like my form is really failing? This is more of an endurance-based workout because we're doing 8 to 15 reps, so a little bit higher as we're doing 8 on each side. So let's get started. Round 3, 15 squat and press. Here we go. Count your reps. Inhale on the way down. Exhale on the way up. Make sure my heels are pushing into the floor. Knees are tracking out over my middle toes. Big toes pushing down into the ground as well. That's great for pelvic floor stability. 5 more. 4 more. 3, go at your own pace. 2, maybe you're going faster or slower than me, totally cool. Finish off your reps as you do, and get ready for side lunge and hammer curl. Okay, maybe you're gonna hold same dumbbells, maybe you want a little heavier on this one. Big step to the side, load that outside leg, press off, hammer curl at the top. Here we go. Good, good. Big side lunge. We're doing 8 on each side. So remember how to make this exercise a little bit easier, especially if you're having any pelvic pain or low back pain as you're doing this one. Don't step as far. Still a great exercise without stepping really far. Woohoo! Okay, I got 1 more rep on this side to make 8. And switch to the other side. I'll show you from the side here. So when we take our big step out, we are hinging at our hips, right? Keep it up. 8 reps on the second side. So what I mean by hinging at our hips is I'm not staying super upright in my side lunge. I'm allowing a little bit of flexion at my back and my spine. So not rounding necessarily, but hinging at the hip. A great way to load up those quads and glutes. 2 more for me. Side lunge and curl. Whew. Okay, so these exercises where we're doing upper and lower body at the same time, they tend to get our heart rate up a bit more because our heart has to pump oxygenated blood to more muscles doing more things. That's why you're really going to feel like your heart rate is up when you're doing 2 back-to-back exercises of lower and upper body at the same time. Put your mini band just above your knee. Get ready for your bench hip thrust with a band. So mid-back, right where that bra strap is, that's your hinge point. You're not just dropping your bum down and keeping your chest up. Your chest is dropping as well, okay? So it should feel like almost a little uncomfortable where your bra strap is, or if you're tight there, it might feel like a nice massage. Okay, that's the action I want you to get. 15 reps, here we go. Drop down, squeeze the glutes up, mini pause at the top. I really like to think of leading with my hips and my pelvis instead of leading with my belly button. Sometimes on this exercise, if you lead with your belly button, we can get a little bit of back arching, but if you lead with your pelvis, you're more likely to feel a bit more work through your glutes and your hamstrings. 6 more, squeeze the butt at the top. 5, keep pulling that band apart, that's what it's there for. 4 more. 3, last 2, and last 1. So having this band on your legs adds a little bit more lateral hip to the move. which is kind of nasty of me to make you do that right after a side lunge and a side plank. Okay, grab your 5, 8, maybe 10-pound dumbbell, set up your side plank, maybe bend your bottom knee or stack both feet, or you can splay one foot in front of the other. Lots of options for the side plank. And here we go, 8 reps. Working the back of your shoulder, of the upper arm here, all the while getting a whole bunch of work through the core, down through that lateral side. 2 more. Keep that elbow bent with the arm that's doing a reverse fly. And switch. To your other side, one of my favorite core exercises. Does double duty because it's core and upper body. All right, from the knees or from the toes, open and close. Here we go. 8 reps on this side. 4. Push those hips forward. Try not to round too much through your upper back. Almost there. Stay strong on that underside. And drop your dumbbell down. Find your big super band. Finishing off your 3rd round of 4 of these 5 exercises. So one leg's gonna go in front. Palms facing down for your grip for your first 8 tubing pull-aparts in this half kneeling position. Here we go. 8 of them. So really trying not to hunch as we pull, keeping the shoulders just gently down and back. You don't have to jam them down. Oh, I'm starting to feel the backs of my shoulders. Such a good place to work. Woo! Okay, other leg goes in front. Underhand grip now. Your backs of your shoulders are starting to get tired, so maybe give yourself a bit more slack on the tubing. Squeeze the glute of the leg that's behind you. Here we go. 8. Palms are facing up now. Almost there. Last one. Woo! Okay, when I say back to the shoulders, I mean right here. That's your rear posterior deltoid, working in this exercise and that side plank with reverse fly. Great time to grab some water because we've got one more round of these 5 exercises coming right up. Woo. Okay, if I'm not giving you enough water breaks, absolutely take them as you go through, but I'm trying to kind of push you to go through all 5 exercises so that by the time you get to the end of them, you're like, whoo, get a little bit of heart rate up, maybe sweating a little bit. Okay, guys, find your weights for your 15 reps of squat and press. So remember, a few things dictate how heavy you're gonna lift. How many reps we're gonna do. Right now, I'm doing 10 for squat and press, right? If we were doing only 8 reps, maybe I'd be lifting 15s or maybe 20s. But we're also pairing it with a squat, so there's a whole lot of things going on. Pick a weight that is challenging, but doable for you for 15 reps, okay? Here we go, counter reps, squat and press. Last time through this exercise. Use that breath. Exhale as you press up. Big toes pushing into the ground, same as the heels. Really spread the feet. 3 more for me. 2. Keep it up. Woo. Okay, squat and press done for the day. Time for our side lunge and hammer curl. Maybe you're gonna add weight, lift a little heavier, maybe a little lighter, totally up to you. Point your toes to the front so we're not rotating as we step. The toes stay pointing to the front. It's a little bit better for loading our hips in this specific exercise, okay? Here we go, side lunge. Hips bend, 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 send the hips to the back, stand up, hammer curl. 8 on each side. Oh yeah. Good work, guys. Really explode off that outside leg. 4 more. more on this side before I switch to the other side. Awesome job, guys. Okay, other side. Side lunge and raise, here we go. Send the hips to the back, press off that leg, hammer curl. You've got 8 reps on this side. Stand nice and tall for your hammer curl. Woo! Things are starting to feel like this is round 4. Biceps starting to get a little bit more tired. That's what we want. Keep breathing through it. Okay, finish off your last rep. And make your way to your bench, your coffee table, your couch. Not like to sit down and watch TV, but to put our band on for our bench hip thrust. Band goes just above the knees. It's just like putting on a small pair of underwear. Remember, in this exercise, you're trying to pull those knees apart as you lift your hips up. Get a whole bunch of work through the back and the sides of your hips. Your lateral hip muscles, your glutes, big glutes, and your hamstrings. Here we go. Drop the hips down, squeeze up. 15 reps here on the bench hip thrust. Last time for each one of these exercises. Give me that little micro pause at the top. Keep the knees pulling apart. One of my favorite exercises. Almost there, guys. Right to your 15th rep. Keep lifting those hips. Lift with the pelvis. Whoa. Okay. Take a rest. 2 more exercises to go. We got our side plank with reverse fly and our half kneeling tubing pull aparts. And then we're going to stretch. I love monster circuits. They're kind of, then it does seem like you get through them once you get to the end of the 4th round, right? Okay, set up your side plank. Grab that dumbbell with your top hand. Squeeze your armpit on the underside so you're really steady and stable on that bottom side. Open and close for 8, 7, 6. So remember, the weight that you're lifting is going to dictate how, or the reps that you're doing rather, is going to dictate the weight that you're lifting. If we were doing 15 reps, here's my last one, on each side, then I would not be lifting an 8-pounder on this side plank with reverse fly. Maybe I would be doing a 3 or a 5, right? So the number of reps you do is going to dictate the load that you pick. Set yourself up in your side plank on the other side. Really pull those hips away from the floor. Push them forward. Top elbow is bent for your 8 reverse flies. Keep breathing. Really squeeze your armpit of the underside arm. Last one on this side. Okay, lots of core, lots of upper body on that one. All right, guys, last exercise. Palms face down, half kneeling position, open and close in your tubing pull apart. Here we go for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other leg goes in front. Underhand grip. And let's open and close. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop your tubing down. Have some water. Or just lie yourself right back on your mat. And we're going to get into our little stretch here. Just going to come up and see if anyone had any questions. Okay, awesome. So We're gonna make our way into a seated position. Both of our feet are gonna come out to the front, kind of pull the fleshy bits to the side so you're right on your sit bones, and then start to hinge over till you feel a stretch down the backs of your legs. So sometimes people will feel this into your low back. That's actually fine because we're definitely stretching the low back when we do this spinal flexion action and hip flexion action. So there's two kind of things happening here. We're getting a rounding, slightly rounding of the back, and also a little bit of bending at the hips. So we get a nice stretch down our hamstrings. Those are the muscles at the back of our legs, at the top, and then through our calves. I really feel my calves a little bit more than my hamstrings right now. Okay, we're gonna make our way over onto our back, and you're gonna cross one foot over your opposite knee and bring your legs a little closer towards your chest. Get a nice stretch deep into your glute. Oh yeah. So one of my favorite things to do in this figure 4 glute stretch is to just do a gentle rock back and forth, because I find that it gives me like a nice little massage on my sacrum, that like piece right at your low back, while simultaneously getting a nice stretch into my hip. Okay, let's switch to the other side, stretching out your glutes. These guys worked in a few of our exercises today. They worked in our squat, in our side lunge, and in our hip thrust. So establish the stretch through your hip. And then if you like, if it feels comfortable, you can do that rock from side to side. Oh yeah. So you might find the stretch intensifies when you go away from the leg that you're stretching or when you go towards it. It just depends on which part of your glutes are tighter. Okay, we're going to move into a really nice chest stretch here. It's a dynamic chest stretch. So it's our side lying half moon. So you're just going to need to make sure that you've got room over the top of your head. You're going to lie on your side. Your knees are stacked, your feet are stacked, your hips are stacked. Head can rest down, and you're going to take your top arm and you're going to draw a half moon over the top of your head. So once that arm comes over the top of your head, you allow your torso to open. So at the end of this movement, your arms are outstretched and you're getting kind of a stretch through your torso, through your chest, through your shoulders. And then you're going to trace that hand back where it came from. So right over the top of your head, really reaching out through your fingers. So you should feel a nice stretch into your shoulders, into your lats. Let's do this one more time on this side. So go slow and steady. Reaching over the top of your head. Oh yeah. Then once you start to get over the top of your head, that's when you're really going to feel the stretch in your chest. Whereas before you might have felt it more in your back or your shoulders. And then bring that hand slowly, slowly, slowly back over your head, tracing that half moon. So with this one, if you go a bit slower, you tend to feel the stretch in a few more areas. Let's switch to our other side, so you can roll right over to your other side. Stack your hands, stack your hips, stack your knees, stack your feet, one on top of the other, and then start to take that top hand, trace that big half moon over your head, go slower than you think. Get all the aspects of that shoulder rotation and mobility, reaching the arms out to the side, and then start to trace that hand back over the head. Slow and steady, really reaching out through the fingertips. Let's do this one more time. So this kind of first part of the phase, right before I go over my head, I feel my lats quite a bit, but as soon as I start to open up, then I start to feel my chest a little bit more. Both are feeling very heavenly. Okay, trace the hand back over top. Good, good, good. Alrighty. Make your way to a seated position, and thank you so much for joining me tonight, you guys, in our follow along workout for April. As always, if you really like the follow along workouts and you're like, oh, I wish we did them more than once a month, you can always watch this workout again. So obviously you would be doing the same monster circuit, you know, next week or maybe on the weekend, or in the search bar within the Facebook group, if you type follow along workout, you're going to get a whole bunch of other follow along workouts that we've done, because the recordings stay on the Facebook group. You might not always be able to find them in the feed, but if you look either under videos, or if you just type in follow along workout into the search bar within the coaching group on Facebook coaching group, then you're going to get all the other follow alongs. And there's over 10 of them now, because we first started doing them, I think, in 2017. So search those up. There's tons of other ones. There's glutes and core, hamstrings, back and biceps, other total body ones. There's a body weight one. So search those up if you like the, you know, kind of just coming home from work and just listening to me yabber at you for 35 minutes. Then these are a great thing, because you don't necessarily have to think as much. Just get all the equipment that you need, press play, and then there we go. As always, if you have questions or comments, leave them here, type them up. I always get a notification afterwards. And thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest.